All right, I am with the Scottish psychopath, former two-time WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. How are you, sir?
Marvelous. It's a pretty sunny day in Nashville, Tennessee. I think I'm going to go check out some of the local haunted houses tonight. So, yeah, we got Crown Jewel coming up. Good times.
I was just going to tell you, one of my wrestling guys, he told me to let you know that there are a few spots in Tennessee you should be checking out. Corgi's Hot Dog House, which is in Mount Juliet, Boston Commons, New England Seafood and Pub, Best Fish and Chips. Also 5 Points Pizza, and that's in 5 Points. And then Darfon's, best all-around food by the airport. So just a little list of recommendations, Drew.
I'm going to have to take a note of all of those there, especially the one near Mount Juliet.
There you go. Now, first question I have for you is we're coming up on Crown Jewel. You're on a collision course with Big E. Can you talk to me about this match that's going to happen, which I'm extremely excited for?
I'm also extremely excited about it. Finally, after all these months, I can challenge for the WWE Championship once again. I felt kind of bad initially that I'm going to have to take on Big E and take the title off him, because he's somebody that I do respect and somebody that the WWE Universe rightfully loves. He has earned his moment. He's done it the right way. He's paid his dues, and I'm very happy to see him as WWE Champion. That's why it pained me so much to challenge him and have to take the title off him until he elbowed me in the head on Monday, because I've still got this little shiner in my head right now. I've been icing it like crazy. It's not as bad as it was, but if you saw it in Raw, it came out a good few inches from my head and got a little bit of blood going there. But yeah, I mean, B and I got on the same page. We had some miscommunications, and then as soon as that elbow struck and he shoved me, all bets were off, and we got into a fight, as I'm sure everybody knew it was going to end up there. It's WWE. I dropped him with a Claymore, and we've got one more step this Monday on Raw before we head to Crown Jewel, and I get my last WWE title opportunity before I move to SmackDown.
Well, you know what? I want to talk about that for a second, because during the pandemic, you were our champion. And I really mean that, like our champion, because you carried the company through on your back throughout the pandemic. But I want to talk about that a little bit, because that experience as WWE champion during the pandemic, can you speak on that? And also, I'm so happy that you worked with Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. I think that dude is a super underrated talent, and I love seeing Jinder and what he's doing. But so can you talk about just being a champion during that pandemic?
Yeah, first of all, yeah, Jinder is definitely underrated. I think he's way more capable than people give him credit for, especially online. And looks like $1 billion.
Yeah.
But being champion, yeah, that was something I was so proud of. Obviously, as a kid, I didn't imagine winning the title in front of nobody and holding the title for 300 days in front of no fans, then virtual fans. But considering the times we were in, it's probably the proudest times of my career, when the world essentially shut down, every sport company shut down, every entertainment company shut down. And we as a company, WWE, decided to push ahead, make sure everyone had an escape, had something to look forward to a few times a week with Raw, SmackDown, NXT, some original content. And I got the chance to be champion and lead that charge. And there's a reason. Everything happens for a reason. All my ups and downs in my life and career prepared me for that moment. That I wasn't fazed by it. I just said, okay, everything rolls downhill. I'm at the top. I'm going to throw things against the wall, see what sticks, and hope for everyone follows my lead. And everybody stepped up dramatically during that time. And it was something I'm very proud of. But now, thankfully, we've got the fans back. Things are getting back to normal. It's been a few months now. The crowd's been electric every single night. And this Monday, hopefully they're going to be really crazy, because I'm going to be beating up E. I'm going to bring in that sword down. Maybe I'll finally use it. I'm only kidding. Maybe. Am I kidding? And then we'll head to Crown Jewel and we'll get back to the WWE Championship with live fans for the first time. I mentioned last Monday to E, when he was talking about how it felt to be champion, and he gets it now, and he articulated it the way only Big E can. I tried to refer to the adrenaline rush from the fans being live in the building, and he described the nectar and juices flowing down his
nipples.
Yeah, whatever only he can put it. But I had to remind him that you get it, but I don't get it. I'm a two-time champion, 300 days as champion, but I've never had that, and I'm chasing that moment. And unfortunately for him, it's going to happen as an expense at Crown Jewel.
Oh, I can't wait for that matchup. Now, I want to talk about the WWE Draft a little bit, because you're going back home to SmackDown. Talk to me about some of the challenges you're excited to face on the Blue brand.
I mean, looking at the roster, there's a bunch of things I'm excited about. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Roman Reigns, and that's the big match down the line. My attention's fully on Big E right now, but just looking at the roster in general, Sheamus and Jinder have moved over there, so I can't escape those guys. Like my buddies, it turned on me. Maybe I'm the problem. My friends will turn on me. Maybe I'm the issue. I'm the common
Right.
denominator. But also big matches that I've never had in my life, like Cesaro's over there. We've never had a singles match.
You guys have never had a singles match?
No. And 20 plus years each in wrestling, we have never wrestled each other singles. So that's got to happen. And I'm very excited about that. And obviously the big match eventually when it's time is Roman. And for me, coming back to SmackDown, mentioned it the first week I was drafted, and I was kind of thinking out loud when Kayla stuck a mic in my face. And I was just reflecting for a second. I was okay, obviously we address the bloodline in Roman. That's an obvious one. But for me personally, that's where I started. That's where the chosen one was born. That's where all the lofty expectations were put on me. And I was so young, immature, not ready for it. And I crashed and I burned, and that was my home for a long time. And I was very proud to bleed blue for all those years, but also it was very, what's the right word? Painful. That's the only way to describe it, that things didn't work out the way that I hoped and the company hoped they were going to work out. And it's always been in the back of my mind. And now things are coming full circle, and I can finally put that right for myself. As much as winning the title on Raw meant for me, it was for me, but also, you know, the world and the way things were going on at the time. What's going to happen on SmackDown is a lot for me and making right what happened in the past.
You know, I saw the documentary that they had on about a year ago or so about your documentary about you know, going to SummerSlam and wrestling at WrestleMania, and honestly, it brought a tear to my eye and my girlfriend. Like, we were watching it, and I was like, man, because you're completely right. It documents the journey of Drew McIntyre, and I've been there since the beginning, like early days of SmackDown, the chosen one. You know what I mean? The future shock. So I understand it and I get it, and my heart felt for you, and especially I was so proud of you winning the WWE Championship, and I wish I could have been there in person, giving you my energy and cheering you on. But hopefully you felt it through the television screens. But one of the things I did want to talk about too is the Royal Rumble, and you've won the event before, and tickets are going on sale tomorrow. The Royal Rumble is going to be at the Dome at the America Center in St. Louis on January 29th. Going into the Royal Rumble, obviously going in as a champion is one thing, but talk to me about the experience of going into the Royal Rumble as one of the 30 competitors.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's not just an exciting event for the fans, because it's very exciting, especially these days. You've got the men's and women's Rumble. You've got the anticipation of the 10-second countdown before the next superstar comes out. You get surprises mixed in there. It's such an exciting event for the fans, but for the superstars, you're back there, your adrenaline's going, you know you're coming up next, you can see who's in the ring, you're curious how the crowd are going to react when your music hits. Like, it's such a fun event, and I've been in multiple Rumbles, and I remember my first one, I was so freaking nervous. It was my favorite event as a kid. I got in there, had a decent run, then I got eliminated by DX. So Triple H and Shawn Michaels double clotheslined me over the top rope, which was pretty cool. Even though I didn't win, I was like, well, I got eliminated, but DX put me out. That's pretty cool. And I'm 24 or whatever at the time. I had a few after that, wasn't quite as successful. And then eventually this Rumble was different, because I was at the point in my life and career where a little bit older, a little bit wiser, but also thinking to myself when I was backstage watching Brock eliminate everybody, all right, Drew, this is your chance. Like, you've been the future since you were 15 years old. You're not 15 anymore. And it's going to get to the point you're going to be the past before you were ever the present. This is your chance to become the present. Go out there and show them who you are. And at the time, I was getting a bit of steam going. The fans were organically getting behind me. But it wasn't like I was in a position where people were like, Drew's going to win the Rumble. But when I walked out to the ring, if like you watch it back and you see the fans stand up, I could feel them standing up. I was so laser focused on Brock. And when I got in the ring with Brock, we went face to face. Everyone, I could almost feel them going, he's going to do it. He's going to eliminate Brock. And everybody could like just got up, and my goosebumps are going up right now. My hairs in my arm are standing up.
You and me both.
Right now, like thinking about that moment, I remember swearing at him when I got in the ring, and it wasn't planned, obviously, the PG product, but I was so in the moment. I was just like, I am going to drop you, Brock, right now. He took off his gloves, little assist from Ricochet, and then Claymore disaster right out of the ring. And that noise of 40,000 people was just the most incredible feeling I've ever felt in my career, until about 30 minutes later, when we got to the point where it was down to myself, Roman, and Edge, who returned after a 9-year absence. And I was thinking, oh no, I win this thing, they might boo me out the building. We've seen that happen with Royal Rumble winners in the past. And it could very much happen to me, because Edge is back after 9 years, was never going to wrestle again. And here he is in the Royal Rumble, and he got eliminated. And sure enough, they were not happy. But a few seconds later, I eliminated Roman, and it was equally as loud as it was for when I eliminated Brock. And such an unbelievable feeling. We use that clip all the time where I spin around and I drop to my knees and lose the power to walk. And it's such an emotional moment. It's such a cool moment to watch, because that was the moment of adrenaline filled jubilation with 40,000 people going crazy. And then you see obviously Mania was kind of the opposite, but it meant just as much when nobody was there and it was silence, but everyone got to watch that private moment when I got the 3 count on Brock. I had the title in my hands. The adrenaline wasn't the same as it was for the Rumble, but in my mind was this montage going on that everyone got to witness what was going on in my head, which was thinking about my life, my career, everyone that sacrificed to help me to get me to where I was at, remembering the camera was there, reaching out to everybody and thanking them for supporting me and for choosing WWE during those difficult times. And even though it wasn't the same feeling, it meant equally as much to me.
Yeah, look, I want to thank you for being a champion during those difficult times too, because I don't think there was a better choice of somebody to represent the company than Drew McIntyre. But the quick question I have for you is, look, I'm a longtime wrestling fan, so I got to know, what's your favorite entrance music of all time?
Everybody who tweets me every day about it will be saying broken dreams, say broken dreams. But I think my favorite of all time has got to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Is just because of the everything about it. It matched him perfectly, but the beginning's so important to songs. That's why I wanted the sword effect in there, like, because I always thought of Austin and how much I even stood to my feet at home when you heard that glass break, that you just knew, like, oh my goodness, it's going to go down now. And when you heard that glass, everybody would leap to their feet, lose their mind. It matched Stone Cold perfectly. I mean, The Undertaker is equally as impressive. It's so dramatic, not quite the same feeling, everyone jumping up, going nuts. It's just, you're captivated by Taker's entrance and his music, but I would have to pick Stone Cold. And that's the reason I have the sword at the beginning, because I wanted something when you hear an effect of, that's true.
That's what it was for me. Bret Hart, when you hear that guitar riff, that like immediately pop. But look, Drew, I know you got to go. Look, you and I share another thing in common. I'm a big fan of the paranormal. I'd love to at some point go on a ghost hunt with you, because I think it's cool. I've had some pretty crazy experience, but look, really? Man, yeah, man, absolutely. Good luck at Crown Jewel. I'm excited to see you hold up that WWE title for us. And look, the Royal Rumble, my favorite event on January 29th at the Dome of America at the American Center in St. Louis. I can't wait. Drew, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your knowledge and fandom. And yeah, eventually we'll maybe get that supernatural trip. If you can get the Bell Witch Cave open, it's in Nashville here, but it's closed for the rest of the year. If you can get it open this year, I will go with you, because they closed the thing down for the rest of the year and I really want to go.
Hey, when you're in San Diego, I'm in LA, but if we're ever in San Diego, the Whaley House is another place in Old Town San Diego that I want to check out. I mean, that's a place that, I mean, there's a lot of places on that list, Drew, but we're going to make it happen.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Appreciate you. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.